Mr. Ode Mongobia, our guest lecturer, Dr. Maikanti Baru, ably represented by Engineer Saidu Mohammed, the Chairman of the Board of Trustees, Mr. Egbert Imomo, the matriarch of the Aret family, our mommy, Mrs. Izrael Adams, my bosses, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I think my job really is to say thank you. But protocol demands that I should recognize some people that have indeed made enormous sacrifice in making sure today was a successful event. To that, I want to start in appreciating God Almighty who blessed us as we started this event today. To God be the glory. I want to thank in a very special way the chairman of today's occasion, erudite scholar, distinguished lawyer, and so many things. A man of honor who has served our country as Minister for External Affairs, and of course, he served our industry as Minister of State, Petroleum. Please join me in thanking Mr. Ode Mongobia, who has ably steered this occasion today and give us wonderful insight into what the industry he has adopted will be like in the future. Thank you very much, sir. But you know, it would not have been worth our while if Dr. Baru did not present his paper. He's unavoidably out of the country, but he made sure that we had the robust discussion that as a matter of fact, I think his absence in some very strange way looked like a blessing. He sent us 2 directors instead of 1. We're going to get 1 director of the board of NNPC, but now we had 2. He did not only focus on produce more or find more and produce more, but he cut across the spectrum. We have today in our midst, representing Dr. Baru, already recognizing, Engineer Saidu Mohammed, the Group Executive Director, Gas and Power, a former refiner, my old roommate. Do you remember those days? Indeed, he was my roommate. I saw him just and I said, what happened now? And when I wanted to ask my question, he said, you are disqualified. Saidu was used to trying to muzzle me, but I'm taller than him. So, please, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please join me in thanking Engineer Saidu Mohammed for doing justice to the paper presented on behalf of Dr. Baru. And please join me in thanking Engineer Rabiu Bello for giving us insight. A lot of questions were asked, but he took advantage to actually present, if you like, a scorecard. The achievement in the upstream sector, the cash call body we had. I do recall the IJV issue was addressed under the traditional government of Salami. It was approved and was reversed. Well, it takes a courageous man to forget about history and say, it is the right thing to do, that's what we want to do, that's what is good for this country. Can you please join me in congratulating Engineer Rabiu Bello and all those who are working on this transformation of our industry. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you know, each time we gather and I see Mrs. Adams stand up, I cannot but instantly recall the days of working with Aret Adams. What we celebrate today, the Aret Adams Foundation, was created to commemorate his 60th birthday. And for those who remember history, shortly after that was presented to him on his 60th birthday by a group of friends, he was announced as an advisor to the president. And consequently, the whole idea was put in abeyance. But you know, the good deeds of Chief Adams cannot be overlooked. And that's why I was very encouraged when Dr. Baru in his opening remark on his paper said NNPC will continue to support the foundation. Please, Engineer Saidu, tell him we are grateful. Mrs. Adams has remained very firm and strong in encouraging us and the board to continue where her daughter also serves, Kelly Adams. And the whole family, are keeping us reminded. Well, as a gentleman, everybody fondly like to call Dr. E. I won't go into some of my past discussion with him. But Dr. E is always available and is always present. And you know, he epitomizes, if you like, what I'll say, the industry's resilience to recognize what is good and perpetuate it. And I hope in the future, just like Engineer Saidu and Rabiu told me today, we have to find a way to bring in the younger people. But Dr. E indeed is young at heart and remain young. Please join me in congratulating him. My bosses, again, Aret for what he is. When I see my bosses, past group managing directors of NNPC, come as it were a pilgrimage to honor one of their own, I'm reassured that what the foundation stood for is real and is true. Please join me in thanking my boss, the man who trained me in project management, Dr. T.M. John, and Chief Chamberlain Oyo, who indeed, while the foundation was still in incubation, decided to give the first Aret Adams lectures. Chief, we thank you. There are people who work. I know the chairman of the Board of Trustees has been recognized, but Aret, in his wisdom, well, let me tell you one small short story. I know time has far gone. I always tell people I was the youngest of those Aret mentors. And consequently, in his funeral, one of them said, well, you saw the last milk, so you must carry the can. So I found myself walking till I almost became a victim also. But the point I was trying to make is that before he died, we presented a potential list to him. No question of who. He said, Egbert Imomo. And Egbert has been the chairman of the Board of Trustees since foundation. He has worked tirelessly, and he also manages to, using his network, to bring us the most appropriate speaker and chairman for each occasion. Can you please join me in giving a hand? Yes, of course, Egbert is the orchestra conductor, but he needed an orchestra. Please join me in congratulating and thanking the members of the Board of Trustees present. As Joe is here. I see Regina Stanley, Mrs. Indiomu, Pele, Lai Fatuna, Mr. Femike, where is he? The stand up for recognition. Well, I don't know who else is here that I will mention. Okay. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you are all recognized, and I thank you for all the wonderful job you're doing. But there's a man who runs the office and makes sure you get your letters. I know this year I had a few complaints, people didn't get their letters. The program coordinator. And continues to work. And sometimes, because it's not from the industry, he has to knock at least 3 times, where others will get 1 knock. Please join me in thanking Aki for the work we've been doing. But, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, there are those who have kept us going. Our sponsors. We have NNPC and Chevron as platinum sponsors. We have Amni as gold sponsor. Mutual benefits. The man who said it's the embodiment. Is it the value? Where is that? I think you have to do better than that next time. We have, of course, Aret's only company that he was his day job, multinational technology, Swasco, Stars Marine, Investment One, and a few others who are not necessarily listed here. We thank you for your continuous support and continue to count on you, because only by twist we will come back.